I can tell what Tokyo. Ohio Star playing. Slide by. I ain't see that movie. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't right for me to talk about it. It wasn't really right. Yeah. Ohio Star playing. Slide by. Yeah, niggas that be hating, I expected it. Bitches that be hating, I expected it. If you do nothing else, you best respect it, bitch. Only Ohio, what I represent. Trust me, you will find nobody better than. Fuck around with me, you turn irrelevant. Ever since you thought you was checking shit, send you to that upper room without checking in. I expected it, 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 I expected it. Bitch, just respect the shit. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about your fetishes. Bitch, you gon' learn to respect this dick. Large portions of your life, you got the best of it. Life is school, tell me who you take your lessons with. Dirty laundry, why you always in some messy shit? That's the reason you the one that I ain't messing with. Like your job, not the one that's on your necklace. Claim you stuck on shit, but I ain't get the message, bitch. Yeah, keeping my emotions, I won't let them in. It's getting hard because this a whole new reckoning. I'm the one that's gonna put that knife right where your neck is bent. Twist that motherfucker shit so fast, I bet your head is spin. Yeah, niggas that be hating, I expected it. Bitches that be hating, I expected it. If you do nothing else, you best respect it, bitch. Ohio, what I represent. Trust me, you will find nobody better than. Fuck around with me, you turn irrelevant. Ever since you thought you was checking shit, send you to that upper room without checking in. I expected it, 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 I expected it. Bitch, just respect the shit. Or you gon' be somewhere that you ain't never been. Coming down this path will be your deadest end. And I don't give a fuck about your devil friends. When I'm coming, I'ma show you where the devil is. Bitch, know it's Archangel Uriel. Don't give a fuck about a Michael. Fuck about a title. I don't really give a fuck about that fucking Bible. It's Gucci Manitou, walking talking motherfucker. Yeah, you should be in your home. I'm doing rituals and doing spells so you can just leave me alone. No, I ain't fabricating or taking pictures, I ain't needing a pose. You want a man, you're not in the league, but you only dealing with hoes. No, I ain't talking about pipes when I say you niggas reaching for goals. Your booty hole look like a brand new door, the key in the hole. You wanna reap what you sow, and you not gonna make it back. I'ma tell you now, you not gonna get away with that. This ain't a restaurant, but believe I'm about to make a burger. The best believe I make a way to get away with murder. Have you floating on some water, but you ain't a surfer. Thinking that you was a boss and then became a worker. That's why you mad. Yeah, niggas that be hating, I expected it. Bitches that be hating, I expected it. If you do nothing else, you best respect it, bitch. Only Ohio, what I represent. Trust me, you will find nobody better than. Fuck around with me, you turn irrelevant. Ever since you thought you was checking shit, send you to that upper room without checking in. I expected it, 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 I expected it. Bitch, just respect the shit. Go to sleep. Rockabye, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get into some spiritual scholarship. Because people is lost and people need it. And people like these lostness be distractions and it feel good. They be good fruits until it turn rotten. But it's too late. It physically manifested into a situation. Then we got to sit back and look at what we should have thought what was important. What we should have felt we should have been into. And it all start to hit us like, why wasn't I giving that more percentage scales and stuff like that? And my time and my energy gave it to that bad. I gave it to that homie cheese, homie slice, wet cornbread, sliced anchovy bread. That salt, water, wet tire wheel face. However, gotta be to put that thing in your mind so you could be like, yeah, that is right. That is why I shouldn't have married that person. That is right. That's why I shouldn't have. Because a lot of people be needing mental constructs and stuff like that to jump into the, totally separate, opposite direction in the esoteric world
from that mind state you was in that made yourself make those decisions. A lot of y'all thinking about these decisions y'all have made right now, about 6 months later into it. It's about 6 months into it now, about a year into it, about a year into it now, about 15 years into that marriage now. I guarantee it. Yeah, I'm saying a lot of people, especially online right now, and got everybody into some other type of circumstance where everybody Sagittarian like, everybody want to be, and Piscean like, you want to be free from something, but you don't know what it is yet. In the meantime, it become you being destructive in your relationships. It become you victim shaming, guilt tripping, and you the one all. And we're gonna help your mind because we want to show everybody how to move right now and stuff. Even the stuff that people might be like, oh no, it ain't that, it ain't that. I got a way to show you it is that. And we ain't even got to break down that, whatever you're pointing at, to be like, look, that, I don't see it, though. It's imaginary. I can't lift it. I can't wear. I can't make no money off it. And that's really what all of it. It'll be about nothing else. It'll be about that. Trust me. If it was a millionaire that looked like me right now, that was an astrologer or something like that, wouldn't be no more rappers or nothing like that. Everybody want to be an astrologer. I don't know that. I don't know that. And I ain't no astrologer. I'm spiritual. We ain't got to talk about the sun and moon. We're talking about a tree leaf. All of a sudden, the wind blew to the left, upright, the true north. All of a sudden, all you know, you at the gas station, True North gas station, and the gallon of gas about $4. That's all you know. You don't know nothing about that else. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Shadow leave a float down trick, daddy. Shh. Be quiet. Shout out to that Aries too. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn juvenile. Because I was in juvenile before. You from the hood, you experienced juvenile before or something like that. If some people didn't, doesn't mean anything. There ain't no stripe. It ain't no ego. It ain't no reward, nothing. It's just you just flunked out. Shit. You probably was broke, and probably 9 times out of 10 you was stealing something. That's about it. That's about it. You get taught you was broke real early in life. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you come out the womb, you know you broke. You're broken. Spirit broken, bones have not put together and broken. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, new checkups and everything. Your sarcophagus broken, heart murmur, the lung gets changed to the vein, to the right lung is broken. Everything be broken and stuff like that. Y'all grow up be thinking of something else. Y'all just be guilt tripping other people. You be the broken one. You be broken in all kind of circles. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real because a lot of y'all don't keep it real with y'all selves. Y'all be lying to y'all selves. You know what I'm saying? And you don't be knowing what's going on in life. Then when somebody come kick some spiritual shit like me, spiritual Smith. I said Smith, no Smith. YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But when somebody come kick some stuff like me every now and then and stuff like that, you want to be like, you want to go against it or something. Then something manifests in your life either that same day, week, or month, and then you got to be like, wait a minute, maybe I ain't spiritual. Maybe what I thought was spiritual was something else. What I read in the book, Monica Blisky taught me or something like, you know what I'm saying? Or some Hebrew Israel lemon. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew Israel lemon. You know what I'm saying? Lemon brain. You know what I'm saying? Vegetable lemon brain or some people cars. You go to the used car lot, buy a lemon. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people's old drunk auntie, grandma, or uncle, or something like that be vegetables. Hebrew Israelite, you could be well-oiled running machine. Still one somewhere in your brain, somewhere in vegetables. But I mean, a lot of things, though. We got to exchange mental, spiritual energies and stuff, but just get absorbed so we can know what's going on. We ain't even got to talk about the sun and moon. We talk about the spirituality and the interaction. So you could be like, okay, this is playing out in this area of my life that ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You might have ate an apple, but you got that was replenished or what they call that, or hydrated, or you got your itch scratched because you was hungry or whatever the case, and that start to play out in other areas where now you can be well energy and organized at softball practice, or you could be somewhere at pause homo. You know what I'm saying? Basketball pause homo, the football pause. You know what I'm saying? It's about the end of the time for sports now too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just boxing. That's it. Boxing might be, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do a new shift. Boxing, wrestling. All right, we wrestling, boxing. All right, we got it. Anything else, a balls and a pause. You know what I'm saying? Like sweaty men running around. Shout out to Dave Dash. You know, a lot of sweaty men running around with balls. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start thinking about that. What we paying for? You know what I'm saying? What a lot of y'all get ready to go to jail for at the end of the month. I know a lot of y'all gambling right now. Y'all just bet on the Jets. You bet on the New York City Buccaneers and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know you do that right now. So y'all float out. And right now is about that money. Moon in Virgo. It's about that money. Matter of fact, it's a trine going on right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a trine going on. What do that mean? Gifts. What do gifts mean? Gold. What do gold mean, esoterically speaking? Creative ideas. Now, if you got creative ideas, that's manifesting. You got something for God or something you didn't stumble across of that no one else has stumbled across of in the spiritual world yourself. Now, when you bend that down to reality, you might even get online and hear people say manifesting. And they ain't talking about nothing but materializing. For the most part, you ain't getting ready to pardon me. You ain't getting ready to materialize nothing if you ain't do the real manifestation, aka accumulate a thought that construct into, if it's productible, it constructed to what we call creative. And then for the most part, you could gain the attention, esoteric currency of other people. And then it makes that esoteric light beam bigger to attract. And you, if it's productive, once again, you're able to help yourself and others. And then others, each one teach one, able to add on to that and make their own esoteric light balloon or that honey bubble and that little sack in the bubble bee nest that we all in, or however the case may be. However you want to size it up in your mind to make you go day to day better and more sufficiently. And there's a lot of attributes and examples out there for you to, piggyback on, because that's what you're doing anyway. When you get so distracted in your life, a lot of times you live in a small world, your small body and the mind, and that play out physically. So you become limited to this imagination, if you, for lack of better terms. So small world, small perception, limited accesses to do the same thing that I'm talking about. So now you need actual Madame Blavatsky books, and shout out to her, rest in peace, or religious books. Shout out to people who religious who don't utilize it for negative stuff and degenerate stuff. But now you got limited access to the very same thing that we all doing anyway. Finding that mental crutch we all need to go through the heavenly waters for we could go through tomorrow without feeling like it's a burden on us or it's trial or tribulation, or even if we are going through problems, not to look at it like it's more than what it actually is, because a lot of times that take more of our distraction. And then for the most part, we've been putting more effort and energy into nonsense that don't even take that much energy. And then as a spirit, you be doing things that you really should do when you're relaxing and when you sleep and your body recharging to develop more blood so you could get up and have your organs running. You live awoke, creating a bunch of thoughts and feelings in a spiritual space you don't like to be in, but your spirit is in a space of developing all those negative thoughts and feelings that you was aware of that you can't get out of that space. Then it develop as a whole bunch of adrenaline, but negative adrenaline and blood flow. Now that blood flow is going to play out in things you don't want to do. Be nervous, move in ways you don't want to move, be jittery, make the wrong decisions and things of that nature. But if you know how to keep track of it like that, especially if you're from the hood, you know what I'm saying? You got to know how to keep a track, because this by default allows you to be back in order. I always tell y'all, it's spirit, mind, body, then the things that the body create externally. So that's that 4 pillar or whatever. You could get misguided even getting into certain esoteric knowledges and they only got 3 pillars or whatever. So that's just them calling the spirit the mind, and then don't have a spirit and suggest whatever they think they are from secondhand, the mind first. And then for the most part, the mind ain't first. The observer is the first. And last time I checked, I had a mentality 5 years ago I don't have right now. So something came and went, but something still here observing. And if the mind is something I can put more on a percentage scale of saying, yeah, that's the thought, that's the feeling, that's the vibe, that's the emotion, that's what we call in the mind, and I got rid of a piece, that piece wasn't me. It wasn't my creation. I'm the creator, not the creation. Bad. You know what I'm saying? And you is too. Y'all don't even know how powerful y'all is, because y'all too considering yourselves what the mind is, and then your mind only involved in retarded stuff. So your mind still being intelligent just for retarded stuff. You become thinking you intelligent based off retarded stuff. You become thinking or overcompensating something that really don't mean something and make it mean more than what it is, because you didn't made a game in that world that you only could win in and create cheat codes and stuff like that and play soccer and stuff. So a lot of times life ain't really about that. Life is how much you can substantiate the natural order of something. So you could jump in these worlds and out of these worlds, because these worlds ain't necessarily about what you're playing. It's about what we're doing itself. And we creating circumstances and situations to make our own foundation good. So for the most part, when we think about the energy right now, where the sun would have been at if we was experiencing the transition of add on, or separate, or adjust, aka mutable energy, if we was going into harvest season or Virgo, the moon is in that position. So here's the thing, right? Before people be like, well, this don't mean anything, right? The moon be in the same positions that we see the sun in. So we can see the angle amongst each other. So the moon is more retractive, receiving, or whatever. So however you want to try to make that play out in your life, or you don't care about these things, but I'm trying to tap you into more kind of circumstances. Also, when the moon is waxing, that means it's time to put in energy. The energy that you feel internally is have to be put external. So you're putting that internal water, that vibe, external. You're not holding into things. And when you push that out into the external world, it get absorbed in wherever the moon and everything else is at that's developing the seasons and everything that we see anyway from your blood or whatever the case may be. But when you're doing it in order and you sat and you know a piece about life, because you know when people break down astrology or whatever, first thing people want to say is, oh, this is England type stuff or whatever. No, it ain't. Everybody got a concept of knowing what partake when we start to see the sun in different positions and the moon in different positions, and how to align that in an in sync and relatable way, all the way to planting the seed and the fruit grow, whatever the case. So that ain't no, just because it's for lack of better terms too or whatever. We don't have to need words to for you to go get a ruler and look at the angle that the sun and the moon is making, and then for us to actually see the shifts of the moon by us rotating to the left and seeing the phases. And the moon is just a reflection of the atmosphere, which is from the light that makes from the sun that's towards the east always or whatever. So based upon your time zone, we don't necessarily need words for you to go outside and see things in real life. And if something happened every day, that lets you know it's actual life, it's reality. If something happened once in a blue moon, it's manipulated by a parasite, bug, animal, or a human. So you have to understand these things too. And humans got crafty at that. They'll start blaming it on things they think you believe after they did it, but the one blaming it is the one doing it. So you have to understand that too. You know what I'm saying? Because how they know so much about it. So that'd be like your grandma, that'd be like anybody, a scammer. You know what I'm saying? Any flunked out person you got in your life that just retarded, and that's their insecurity over compensation. You know what I'm saying? But always look at all these traits as insecurity compensations, because we see things in actuality. If I had seeds myself and planted on myself, it's going to grow myself. So for the most part, it isn't me not having a seed and then saying I grew a seed that I didn't grow and somebody else planted that tree or whatever the case may be. AKA replace that with creativity. If I created something or something like that, there's no need for me to get into all that mental gymnastics. I did it and I can do it again. The end. You know what I'm saying? And go no further than that. You're gonna be liked or loved, but you're gonna be more loved or hated to be loved or loved to be hated, or whatever the case may be. But that's how you do things regular. Other than that, somebody trying to get in where they fit in or something like that. After so sometimes you gotta see that too. Once somebody start doing that, you gotta be like, all right, where they get this from? Because they ain't themselves. You know, this is a mask. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, where you get this? So that's how you peep game too. And a lot of people that y'all be, especially if you're in the hood, these are natural things you learn. Things that y'all think y'all be learning in the esoteric books and all these other type stuff and things of that nature, man, them be renditions of people observing people who live regular lives in the hood and really did stuff based upon actual things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why if you get like a hip hop artist that's an industry plant, they got to act like somebody who actually did something in real life that no money was made off of. It was based off their spiritual practice, their culture, their lineage, and whatever they had going on, and whatever power they was fighting. That ain't no power. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you just get Vanilla Ice, or you get somebody else or something like that, or Flavor Flav, and then they'll tell you something like fight them. You don't even know what you fight. Yo, you fighting to go to the record store and sell some, and buy some more records. That's all you fighting. You know what I'm saying? You fighting when you gonna be in the front of the line to get them new Jordans. That's all you fighting about. I say that's all you fighting about. You're not really fighting. You know what I'm saying? We in America. We in America. I'm sad, but other than that, like I said, it's about that money right now when it comes into that earth energy. So we all supposed to be reacting and responding to mutable. And like I said, there's a different way of acting. When the moon is waning, that's when you're supposed to relax on things that you was already putting energy in. So you're more in protection. So when I say relax, that means don't do things. That just means the actions that you is taking is more focused and predicated on protecting something. But if you ain't got nothing to protect mentally, emotionally, or physically, then you was wasting time when the moon was waxing. And then when you try to act too much when the moon is waning and you put in too much energy, but it's nothing to protect, you're unproductive because you wasn't productive in the first place when the moon was waxing, and you was that all internal energy or emotion or turmoil was supposed to be expressed in some way, shape, or form. So for the most part, that'll allow you to crash out or overexhaust yourself in some way, shape, or form when the moon is waning. So that's what it means when the moon is waning, aka get ready to become a new moon. When the moon is waxing, that's when the moon get ready to become fulfilled. So you're supposed to be fulfilling things. Now here's the thing. If we had the term fulfill, right, the average individual without words will still, you know what I'm saying, know how to be in sync or relatable and compare and contrast what's actually going on in life and things that's outside of them that they ain't in control over, but still have the same attributes. All the way going to the sun and moon. By default, humans, bugs, animals, we all do nature. So you need to get back in tune with life. It ain't just about the sun and moon. It's the things that it comes to be. Like I said, we can just talk about the way the wind blowing. If you're spiritual enough, you'll be able to know how to break that down. But like I said, right, as these transits is going, when we understand that the moon is in a energy of, I had another point. Let me forget it. But as the moon is in Virgo or whatever the case may be, we are supposed to be reacting. Oh yeah, that was my point. As the moon is waxing, this is for us to feel. So now, as for lack of better terms, so the energy that you have in, you have to express it. But here's the thing: you're already your own energy. The stars don't align for everybody all the time. What do that actually mean? Your particular sun, moon, and ascendant sign, right, may be in a different type of angle. It may be squaring today's sun and moon. It may be opposing today's sun and moon. If the stars is aligning, it may be trining. It may have certain opportunities, or you may attract certain opportunists. That's if it's a sextile, whatever, 60-degree angle. But for the most part, when the moon is waxing, right, the energy that you supposed to be using, right, is the energy that the moon sign is in, and the sun. But for the most part, you already by default is using your own energy. So when you are keeping in mind the energy outside of you, this allows you to be more in sync with some outside of your distractions, with some outside of the people, places, and things that you're correlating your circumstances with. Now this develops a greater awareness and greater anything develop into, if you productible, it could be you having a greater purpose, greater ideas, greater angles, greater ways to go about your circumstances and situations, just by having this frame of thought. Frame of thoughts play out in different areas of your life. And if you're playing more of an expanded awareness, that's going to play out in different areas of your life, especially ones you think small and you need help and other ideas and assistance to get out of and things of that nature. These are things you can start springing that accumulation to develop yourself just by being in a different area. So now you're more aware of broader inspirations, and all creative individuals is looking for that area. One area get burnt out all the time, and you can't attract no more gold or inspiration from it, or you have to let it recharge. You have to let it rest, because it's a living form. It's an idea, a gold mine that you have to leave alone, go create another gold mine in another space and let that one recharge the same way your mind made your organs. And when you outburn your organs or whatever, or live throughout the day, then they have to recharge. So then the mind states that made your organs, you can start being in a spiritual space to produce more thoughts and more feelings that all bend down as adrenaline and blood flow, and then you'll wake up or whatever the case may be. That's why a lot of times when someone is well rested, they don't need a lot of sleep, because they have a lot of blood flow or whatever. So that's what that means. This is how we're recharging our bodies. It ain't something putting you in sleep and taking you out of sleep and putting you. Y'all be coming up with all things from people who are degenerate starting points, that a lot of their starting points was based on insecurities and overcompensating from trying to justify wrongdoings in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't get out of the intent of something, you're not going to get past the author, and the author is going to be in your mind frame as something generalized. So you're going to separate the author from this type of book, separate the author from this movie, separate the author from this Bible, without understanding the author is in a certain space. What do I mean by that? When you understand real life, not no weak Madam Blisky or the Mason stuff. No, I mean actual life that even these individuals need to learn. You'll understand the actual process. For an example, you could put two people in a room. You don't have to have no investment in rich family to put certain practices. Everyday individuals who got real common sense and spiritual can understand. Right? You could put two people in a room and give them the same subject matter. It doesn't matter. The subject matter is going to mimic something that's constant, like the relatability and sync energy of the mechanism of the universe, right? Even though we're making something ourselves as a test. So you could put two people in a room with the same subject matter. It doesn't matter. The way that person is, they spirit, they lineage, the way that they was born, or whatever the case may be, is going to be their first perception. Now, when I'm saying, let's not generalize, oh, just because this person from this lineage, they automatically going to think like, that's what I'm talking about. We're getting individualistic. where you have to get out of your biases and get out of some retardation and read a book by Matt ABC type program and understand that the subject matter could be anything. And the way a person is seeing it is based upon their internal security and comparing and contrasting from their insecurity or whatever the case may be. So for an example, right, let's say the subject matter is, we're just gonna make anything, the subject matter is a lighter, and we say one person is a dirty individual and one person is a clean individual, right? Now the subject matter is going to mimic the universe. It's the constant, it's fixed, right? One person gonna look at the all lighters as dirty though, and another person gonna look at all lighters as clean. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it, but we're doing something as constant, but you're either gonna do it in a mechanism way or not. So this separate from the bias. The mechanism is we're thinking about a lighter, right? But how a person think about it, one person may think it's dirty because that's just them. Another person gonna think it's clean because that's their first intent. So whatever idea that the clean person come up with the lighter is going to be allegories and narratives about how clean the lighter is. Another person with the intent who thought dirty, all things about the lighter is going to be about how dirty lighters is, or whatever the case may be. Now all you need to do is replace that common sense, that light, that pneumano, that the little spark, whatever the people get lost in when they think they receive information, and replace that with Bibles. You know what I'm saying? Replace that with any esoteric book. You got, and then all you gotta do is look at it like now you put the responsibility on the author, not necessarily what you read. So here's how you have true equilibrium. You're able to separate things, to find the good stuff and the bad stuff, and separate from the bad stuff. You don't necessarily have to be purely on that person's ideology anymore. What you can do is understand whoever wrote this. If I can understand it, they share a similar organ as me. So there's going to be things that naturally we don't have to be around that we both can agree with and disagree with, all the way down to eat, fucking, and sleeping. Then there's going to be other things a person used that same quality, they mind, to eat, fucking, sleep, to exaggerate, and those are going to be the parts I separate from. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, that's it, the end. So a person going to teach you real good about something you can do with the mind morally, or something you can eat, fuck, or sleep real good, and then a person going to tell you about something else for you to go broke about taxes on around it. Either way, you know how to look at it now, though. You see what I'm saying? So it's about intent. You know what I'm saying? Once you understand intent, you know what kind of person you're dealing with. So whether they whatever they kicking in some good shit or they're kicking some bullshit, you know how to look at the good in it. You know to look at what's for you, and you know how to separate from what ain't for you or whatever it is. And that's for anything. And I'm just using the Bible and stuff like that for examples. But that's for anything. Y'all family, y'all friends, y'all associates, y'all co-workers, or however the case. Because a lot of times it be the blind leading the blind. And a person who be thinking they're ahead is just a person who partied and got they 1-2 in another retarded area faster than someone else who was psyched up by Walt Disney, aka commercial. Shout out to Walt Disney. I'm just saying what we all may be familiar with. But what one person may be psyched up and goofed out about, thinking that this is something we're supposed to have in life to look presentable, or whatever the case may be. So you know what I'm saying? So y'all start living a rat race. That's basically what that is, or whatever the case may be. And it's always supposed to be cheese at the end of the maze. But every time someone get a little closer, the cheese get a little further, or the maze switch, or whatever the case may be. Last time I checked, they call it debt. Call it debt. Pay your bills. We'll say gas, $4. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? $4 a gallon. You know, somebody was thinking about these transits and the sun going into Taurus time. Somebody was thinking real good. Somebody who worked at True North Corporation or something good. You know what I'm saying? I say on the Metro. I say somewhere he's got the BP and shells and shit. Real quick and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some East Indian dude, you know what I'm saying? You try to travel somewhere, you gotta stop somewhere and get some little grandma cookies and shit, little raisin cookies and stuff like that. You want to start, got a little subway attached to it and stuff. They're like subway over there, and stuff like that. Gas about $4. You know what I'm saying? Everybody eating. Somebody eating, you know what I'm saying? Y'all cats, man, y'all got the rogue fights, man. Y'all got the rogue issues in life. I'm seeing that right now. That's why online been so weak, man. Everybody been lost in goddamn cloudy fart man land and stuff like that. So people don't been ain't knowing where to like exert their energy, nor is there anywhere to exert their energy anyway. Like y'all be fighting imaginary enemies and stuff like that. Really just get yourself together and take care of your own business and mind business. You know what I'm saying? And you'll have some business to actually mind. Then you'll actually have something to talk about or feel good about yourself or actually have something to feel bad about yourselves. Other than that, y'all just be making up stuff. Y'all look in the mirror all day and feel bad about yourselves. Y'all look at y'all life all day and feel bad about yourselves. Y'all look at the stuff y'all doing all day and feel bad about yourself. This just means you unproductive and you paying attention to a whole lot of other people that probably doing something with themselves. That's where that come from. You know what I'm saying? You don't be minding your business in your own mind enough. And that's what people need to do. This is where jealousy be coming from. You know what I'm saying? Copying be coming from. The energy of wanting to be like somebody else be coming from and stuff like that. Like y'all jump online and then especially the troll energy and stuff like that. That's a secretly wanting to be like somebody else. That ain't no reverse psychology. Let's make this person be like how we are in real life, because that's really what trolls be really doing and stuff like that. They be trying to create like some, because they in on something, so that makes some person feel like they're intelligent. But no, you're just a part of something because you don't know how to be yourself. So everybody want to be a part of something. Energy is more from that. None of these things be intelligent. We call words on these things. These things we be having to deal with internally, and we don't know how we look. We get told about ourselves and stuff like that. But yeah, be trying to switch things and create some optics to make people online to really, in all actuality, you're just self-projecting. You can only do what you think about yourself. So when someone, even if somebody ain't shit online, they might express themselves like they somebody or something like that. You quick to tell them they ain't or whatever. That's because you really ain't. Because if you was, you'll be in the same position as someone who feel like they are or whatever. And it's just as simple as that. We don't get jobs and stuff and make it and lie to ourselves again. Because when we lie to ourselves in our mind, that play out in other areas of our life too. And people don't be realizing these things. I be wanting every spirit to become more of an adult. In the spiritual world, when you childish in the spiritual world, you can only think you're an adult in the physical world based upon your title, your badge, or what your mama called you or something like that, or what you did to make your mama proud or something like that. It really don't got anything to do with nothing, because the moment you go outside and someone ain't proud in that same energy and stuff like that, you think the world against you, or you think you ain't did something right, or you think you gotta be revengeful or whatever. It ain't got nothing. It's just, you just retarded. Like, you just a degenerate. You ain't minding your business enough. You're too much in the mix, wanting to be in the mix and get the energy back from the mix. And it ain't nothing good in the mix. You be lost in the sauce. You be drinking the Kool-Aid. Everything ain't nothing good about the mix. You be caught in the jiffy mix and stuff like that. You just become soft. Soft as cornbread. Sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Reactionary. Take offense to everything. Take everything personal. And that's when you know you ain't really doing nothing anyway. So you got a whole lot of time to do those degenerate stuff. You got a whole lot of time to take things personal. You got a whole lot of time to feel offended. You know what I'm saying? You gonna pick anything. And once you in that mind state, it could be something that ain't even offending you. You feel offended. It could be something that ain't even personally about you. You take it personal. It could be something that ain't even got nothing to do with you. You gonna find a way how it got something to do with you. And that's when you know you lost. You gotta find something to do with yourself. Go find God if you're gonna be lost. And that's when I recommend Christianity and all that. That's when I recommend Hebrew. I recommend all that for somebody like that. Anything to get the fuck out my face and sweat off my eardrums. Anything. You know what I'm saying? I'll buy that candle every time you got one for you to shut up and stay out of jail just because I know you from the hood. That's it. No, don't try to convince me, convert me, nothing though. And that's it. And then I'm really gonna get your tea steam game up. I don't want to buy no tea from you though. I'm cool with limping. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with calling this though. He called it, but I'm cool with limping. You know about that. You know about that. But like I said, as the sun being in Taurus right now, this is what we all need to be expressing. The world is the moon is the world we are in at the moment. So reacting and responding to mutable earth, being mutable and being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of thinking and being practical. So what do that mean? That mean, you know what I'm saying, trying to create solutions or be analytical based upon in an adjustable way. Add, adjust, or separate. So that'll lead into things automatically by default, 6th house area type stuff, right? Being aware and focused on or reactionary towards energies dealing with work, health, routine, scheduling, things you do on a day-to-day basis, right? Taking care of your responsibilities, especially y'all health. That's a big thing right now for these next couple of days, right? Or a day and a half, or however the case may be, as the moon shift and go into Libra. And as the moon start to go into Libra, we're going to start having to prepare for the full moon. Now, as the moon was waxing, these was things that you were supposed to be internally bubbling up and expressing and being aware of how you should be expressing it, because you ain't got no choice but to express it in your own energy. But if you are aware of the energies that's going on externally, By default, it plays out as a better train of thought, line of reasoning, and save you from situations that you probably would be blindsided in because of your own bias, your own ego, your own light, your own sun and moon and ascendant. So, like I said, the stars don't always align, so you might got to adjust yourself based upon square and conjunction, 150-degree angle, or it may be aligning for you. But for the most part, even if it's aligning, that don't mean it's a go for everything. That means you could lead into procrastination, having things already out of access, but not using it to its full potential. And if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So for the most part, it play out in that energy too. Just because the stars align don't mean you can't suffer the same type of circumstances or outcome as a person that's going through a square or in conjunction or opposition at the moment, if the stars ain't aligning. So peep game. You know what I'm saying? You could be someone being reckless because you think what you did yesterday is going to work the exact same way tomorrow. And it may not do that just because the moon is in a trine, just because it appeared to be that way. So be aware of that too. But as the moon was waxing, you were supposed to be putting in energy, but putting in the energy and transforming it and transmuting it to look like whatever sign that the moon was in, while anchoring it in a stationary way to make it look like the sun. So right now the moon have been waxing and it's all the way up to Virgo right now. So this is the energy you need to be reactionary towards in order to find comfortability when you start taking action. And then when you start taking action with all that absorbing of the reactionary energy, make sure it's filtered through how the sun look, fix Earth. So what does that actually mean? Right? React and respond to your own and other people's ways of thinking and being practical, no matter how hard that is. If you're a Sagittarius, Gemini, or a Pisces, because those are the square energies. And a lot of times how you're supposed to present yourself, it may be a little harder for the Scorpios during this particular time, Leos, and Aquariuses, due to the fact of the sun being in your opposite in your square signs, being in your opposite, quote unquote, of you to Aquarius, and being in your square sign, quote unquote, of you to Leo or the Taurus. And what does that actually mean, right? You actually could go about things that you actually see that you may could do better than others, or you're already fixated on, but you may cause or you may attract minor frustrations based upon your way of doing these things. So things that you was doing that was going through smoothly, you're still going to be in that same position, but not realizing or trying to figure out why it's going through rocky roads, or kind of, especially if you the Aquarius during this particular time. Y'all could be the complete opposite of what's needed in the universe if you was on the wrong side of the universe, aka being unproductive. So that unproductive energy you was putting in, because we got no choice but to act in the world, you was fulfilling the moon with what's going on inside of you. But inside of you is what you start to express externally. And if you was involved in any unproductivity, it catches up with you real fast. So it could be something that you was doing, and it could be the same type of rollout, same type of thing, but now it's getting backlash. Now it's not seen in the same light. Or now you're actually getting ready to have to deal with the responsibility or consequences of whatever that you did within your relationships or circumstances or networking or business abilities. So even legal matters right now, if you're an Aquarius and let's say you've been going through legal matters and things of that nature, right now, all of a sudden the court date may pop up now where you had a little grace period and stuff like that. And now you're getting served, or now you're getting the court period is coming up. And it just so happened to be at this time that the sun is in Taurus. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, the sun is in Taurus. You know what I'm saying? So the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio, my bad. But just get into the square signs itself. Frustration is going to come. Even when it comes to you Leos, you're going to experience the same thing that the Aquarius and the Scorpios is going to be experiencing, right? Being on the opposite side, or just experiencing frustration at a 90-degree angle. So same situation, but for different reasons. Being a Leo, you may explode for your way of seeing and feeling about things that ain't got nothing to do with it being practical. So things you exploded about that you may have got away with, things you was getting attention about that it was favorable, not going to be the same this time. Same way that with Aquarius was involved in, associated with. Leo's the way you expressing yourself, or how you was trying to be seen, or how you was seeing others. You may have thrown shade on others and things, and may have had your way, pardon me, due to the fact of whatever intelligent angle or more talent you had, or more perception or information you had. But it wasn't what you did, it's how you did it. And you might have got away with it, might have got praise for it, but now it's going to be seen in little disgusting energy. Like that term disgustingness, that the vibration behind it is floating around real heavy right now. It must be a lot of spirits participating in disgusting type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that energy is just in the world. But you as a Leo, you're going to be in a situation where that same quality, someone don't want to give you the satisfaction or whatever the case may be because of how you come across. And people may think it's not practical, or it may not make sense to give you praise, or it may not make sense to go about it your way, or how you did it previously don't make sense to go about it, and wasn't even nothing wrong, or whatever the case may be. And you're gonna be questioning it, however, but that's when you're gonna meet that little frustration. You got to let people think and be practical. And if you're not using your way of seeing and feeling things towards thinking and being practical, that's when you're going to meet that frustration. And now you're in the same situation like the Aquarius. Now the opposite sign, Scorpio. And y'all going to be in a situation where your actions automatically seem like people automatically going to have a side eye on you, or people automatically think you up to something, or people going to automatically think you being manipulative, or people going to automatically think that you're not bringing something to the surface, because manipulative don't always mean lying or hiding or being secretive. Sometimes it just means that intense energy. Intense just means holding on to thoughts and feelings. So when it's not being expressed, it play out like an aura, because these are still substances. So when you hold on to a lot of thoughts and feelings, you have an aura around you because you're not a person who got a healthy release system. Or even if there's sometimes these are things justified. Everybody don't need to know these things. You set aside an emotion and give that that energy motivation to express in other times for the sake of other things to keep yourself safe or whatever. But these things create auras around you, and it depends on the person you're around, how they decipher the aura, and based upon their living conditions and background. And like I said, the intent matters more. If you're around a negative individual, you might have an aura that's intense. A lot of thoughts and feelings you holding on to that ain't even negative stuff. It's stuff that you just ain't, it ain't worth telling other people. It's stuff you already got going on within you and dealing with yourself. If you're around a negative person, they're going to think you are a sneaky type of person or whatever. You're a person that's trying to hold something back, or you know what I'm saying, or being manipulative about something. And then now you got to actually, your spiritual back against the wall. And now you actually got to express something that you know ain't petty, but the situation, I mean, that you know is petty, but the situation called for it. And it made you relax enough to have that discussion. Yet it wasn't really a discussion you would have had anyway. But now you probably at your job or whatever, or out and about, and you're like, well, yeah, let me go ahead and just talk to this person about my auntie did, or oh, let me just go ahead and talk to this person about what I'm going through internally or whatever. But a lot of times, that's why a lot of y'all Scorpios be in those type of situations. All zodiac signs go through that, but y'all need to understand, you and Cancers, y'all go through that a lot of times. And Cancers are outright with it. Scorpios like to keep a lot of those things hidden, pardon me, and even things that ain't even worthwhile hidden, to the point that you don't know where that intense energy come from. And then you'll have people describe intensity in areas that always got something to do with a suspense movie, or they don't really got nothing to do with that. Just holding on to thoughts and feelings. And thoughts and feelings bend in and become adrenaline and blood. And if you do that too much, especially if it's negative thoughts and feelings, you ain't do nothing. You ain't about to do nothing but create a lot of trauma for yourself, nervousness for yourself, irrationality for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Nerve-wracking energy. You know what I'm saying? And then that develop into your safe zones that play out unhealthy in that area when you are being peaceful. So you get extreme excitements. So you set yourself up for quick letdowns, or you create extreme grudges, take small problems and react to them as like they're bigger than what they actually are. So a lot of you, and then by you being a Scorpio, you're by default, you like an Aries. These ain't energies that you're outright need other people analyzing. But then when you develop too much of those, and then by default as a Scorpio, you hold them in, you end up hurting yourself, stinging yourself, and then it play out as extremities and self-resentment, where a person don't even know you're giving them self-resentment. Guilt tripping when you're doing it in a way where it don't appear to be guilt tripping. You know, self-entitlement when you're doing it in a way where it don't appear to be self-entitlement. And then that's when it becomes the lower vibration Scorpios. You know what I'm saying? Not the Phoenix or the Eagle, the snake one, where you're doing things based off survival, but the things you're doing ain't even stuff the average person's supposed to be doing to survive. So you're fighting with yourself and others. Your way of surviving is get back. Your way of surviving is getting one up. Your way of surviving is seeing somebody go through something you went through that was a turmoil. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never taking these energies to transmute it into motivation and passion. So that's what y'all Scorpios, the lower octave Scorpios, gotta learn. And that's what the Sun and Taurus gonna be teaching y'all during this particular time and stuff like that. How to start counterpartmentalizing everything you keep beneath the surface, because it's a lot of things you keep beneath the surface that it's too petty. It's not that deep. And other signs don't look at it that way. You see what I'm saying? And pardon me. And a lot of times it'll be things you hold down to survive that you need to let go to survive. And Scorpios create scenarios where y'all dying to live or y'all living to die. So it's like that constant transformation, but never transforming. So yeah, well, maybe I can hold on to this grudge in this way once that way get outdated. Maybe I can hold on to this excitement in this way. And when the old way get outdated, maybe I could hold on to this hope in this way when the old hope outdated. Yet the thing you're hoping for ain't coming to be. The thing you're grudging about is petty. The thing you excited about is allowing you to procrastinate or allowing the same thing that you love destroy you in some way, shape, or form. And you overindulging into these pleasures, and it's actually making you lose your life, lose your relationships, lose your circumstances and stuff like that. And that space you want to be in where you can have that motivation and you can have that validation from others so you can fully go forward with something and with full passion and full care or something like that. Because when you don't got that care, that's when things start to fall off, because you're still a water sign, no matter if you rule by Mars or not. You got to have that care behind something. And if it ain't got no care behind it, you're going to be lost in search to care for something. And then it's going to be projected and transmuted into you doing things to see how much people care for you. And that's dangerous when you're in that lower octave space as a Scorpio, because you start to do that to people that you care for and stuff like that. Then you start doing little manipulative stuff to see how much your mother care for you, especially y'all young Scorpio men that's coming up in the hood. Especially, I know a lot of young YGs, whatever you call it, and stuff like that, where they do certain things all the way to ended up in jail just to see how much their mother cared for them, or whatever the case, because dad might be dead or ain't in the household or whatever. So the mother giving vibes of more energy to whatever other dude that she bringing around or whatever the case may be. And certain things that was a small issue that wasn't attacked in grade school start to play out in high school, and they're not going to college or whatever, where they're trying to find and search of how much people around them care for them or whatever the case may be. And that first energy start to get practiced on the people that's close to them or whatever. And then if little Scorpios and stuff like that go to jail just to see how much somebody cares for them, they say, look, if I go to jail or if I do this right now, then nobody want to go to jail, but they'll do something knowing that it could be a crime. But in their mind, it won't be more of the crime. It'll be more of, this will show me how much somebody gonna answer the phone, or this will show me how, you know what I'm saying, little stuff like that. And once a little Scorpio down that path, Aries too, but especially Scorpios, once y'all down that path, is a point of no return. You know, and you just want everybody to hurt like you hurt. Cancers too. There's no Capricorns in there. Capricorns, Cancers, Aries, especially Scorpios. I think that might be a Mars thing. Pardon me. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. It falls in Cancer and it's exalted in Capricorn. It might be one of those things. Some with passion and it's not no validation there and things of that nature. So you act out to get it. So you find it or find love through other people's passion, even if you have to do it through them being angry at you, or even if you have to do it through acting out to see, you know what I'm saying, how much other people care. So yeah, I had to throw Cancers in there. I guarantee a lot of y'all Cancers went through that same type of stuff. I'm sad. But it's just a time right now where everybody got to shift and kind of be more aware of ourselves and stuff. But Scorpios especially, because during this particular time, the sun is in Taurus too. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Aquariuses and Leos, if y'all kind of sit down a little bit and y'all ain't on the wrong side of the universe and you being productive, you don't have to experience no catastrophic energy either, or whatever the case may be. But then Scorpios, y'all could be on the side of being an extreme balance, pardon me, being extreme balance and not no head-on collision or tug-of-war match. But you have to understand, with the brain to the surface, start counterpartmentalizing those things you keep down. Like, those certain things ain't even worth keeping down. And Scorpios, y'all be surprised, because I know that stuff that other people don't know that you do for survival. Trust me, you'll be surprised how free you is and how much assistance and actual help you will get in those areas you're trying to protect yourself, because you think if you open yourself up, you'll be vulnerable. And that vulnerability, you know you could deal with it, but it's more about how you dive deep in that thought form you created that you think others will see you as once you get in that vulnerable position. And then, you know, it's certain trains of thoughts that a person will go down that you scared of more than other ones that make you feel comfortable with that vulnerability. And you fight with yourself that much, you forget that whole concept to bring to the surface. And this could be a certain self-expression, a creative ideas y'all be into, certain ideas y'all be having. You know what I'm saying? And then all that energy, it stay down, get pent up, and then it get misguided because they got to go somewhere, and then it get misguided into manipulation, seeing if someone else got that idea, manipulating your way into seeing if someone agree with it or not. So doing a whole bunch of stuff like a depth of field around the actual center focus of something to see the reaction, so you could get back in your little safe closet darkness and be like, okay, that reaction is going to show me if they agree with this thing I had over here that I didn't show them. And oh, it agree with it, so it's safe to express it next time I'm around. Y'all know, it's like, y'all see, I'm Aries, I get that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But y'all Scorpios, y'all go deep with it because you're a water sign too, and that care got to be behind it. And you set yourself up for letdowns because you will never find that reaction, that response, or that vibe that you can build up that care that you see it when they not around. You see what I'm saying? And you gotta stop that. Those be petty ones that you gotta bring to the surface, like your opposite sign automatically does. And the stuff that Taurus keep deep is opposite from Scorpio. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand those things. You got to understand it's certain things you hold on to, you make things worse than what they actually are. You make things start to appear to be weird. You make things start to appear to be intense. And then your spiritual back against the wall. And you got to bring something to the surface because you know it ain't something that deep. But now the situation playing out to make you express something you weren't even planning on expressing that day or whatever. So now you know what intensity actually is when you're a Scorpio. Now you know how to check yourself and check certain circumstances and use that for good when you start to get placed in that lower octave. And then you have to do that for survival because that become a position of you having to harm others and actually harm yourself. And because you're unproductive. And we're not talking about physically, which it could be that, but harming yourself and others. You then harmed your own emotional state. You feel this way. Now you try to create weird scenarios for others to feel the same way you felt, and they don't even know how you actually felt because you're a Scorpio and you're ruled by Mars. Mars means separation, not destruction. I don't know who made that up. So you separate that emotion from the scenario. So when you automatically do that, it's just piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up. Now you're destructive and stuff. Where if you can learn from your fellow trine sign Pisces, they don't hold on to those type of things. A lot of times they lotto, but they have to express it. You know what I'm saying? So that it's mutable water. So the water have to be exchangeable. The water has to flow, but this what makes them liars too. Because if the water flow in a certain area where other individuals involved, and a Pisces might got a certain way of how they start feeling, how they might think they should be vulnerable or not, they still gonna be expressive. They're not gonna hold in like the Scorpio. It's just what they express, maybe a goddamn lotto. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I believe in you. You don't believe in shit. What's your zodiac sign? I'm a Pisces. You lying to me. No, I don't for that. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, you gotta keep that in track. Scorpios don't be one to lie. They will lie, but they rather hold in before a lie. They rather create a scenario. They don't have to express it before just lying. That's the difference between a Pisces and a Scorpio. Scorpio will set the situation up that they don't have to express it. They can just hang around and watch to see if you know what you know or what you don't know or whatever, other than expressing something. That's where that's what make Pisces not as manipulative at times and bad liars. Because sometimes they too goofy, too chameleon-like, to the point that you make people raise an eyebrow after a while. You make people be like, wait a minute, this person gaslighting me. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all go too far sometimes. Y'all ain't secretive enough. You too out in the open towards something you lying about. Then the person got to look at it like, oh, nah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be trying to play this too good to be true energy. I don't know why y'all be getting into that either. Y'all float out. Then y'all get mad that y'all got that job after a while. Y'all just psych the manager up to make the manager think they didn't got the best employee, best worker in lifetime and stuff like that. And then a week later, you just forgot you worked that day, talking about you was sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be about nothing sometimes. Y'all Pisces don't be about lying. You wasn't sleep. You knew damn well you had to work. You fell to sleep on purpose around that time so you could make it real. Or you made your dream a reality. Yeah, man, I don't want to go to work, man, so I don't want to fall asleep or something like that. You secretly plotting to go to sleep the hour before you go to work so it could be real. Your lie could be real. Yeah, you really was sleeping. You planned it, though. You knew you were, you know what I'm saying? That's a pussy. My bad. I'm tired. I didn't mean to tell y'all secrets. My bad. Goddamn water signs. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Scorpios, just be aware, whatever, like that. During this particular time, you are the example of what to do and what not to do due to the fact of the opposite sign and where the sun is at. And Tauruses, y'all already know that the energy is in your favor, even if it's not your particular flight day, your birthday. It's in an energy of, you know, people having you on their mind, even when you're unaware. There's other things going on that people don't pay attention to, just like it's things growing and you don't be paying attention to it, but that next spring you got bushes in your yard that deteriorated wintertime, right? So a lot of people are just not sensitive to light. But this is why when we talk about Tauruses and things of that nature, and the sun being in Taurus, it don't even have to be your exact flight day or whatever, but it's other things going on to have other people. You'll be surprised if you are spiritually inclined to see how this play out. Like the sky, the air, all that is connected to our mind. It's like the same substance. So, pardon me. It's so the force field that create the substance and the leaves and the color rays, the sun rays, the moon, this particular year, you're made out of that. Look at the sun as like a water bubble and look at the universe like an ocean. So when the water bubble is in a certain, this is why Mars means separate. And everybody is really Aries is in another way with a different development, a different accumulation. Mars means separate. So Mars is just the first position of the sun and then the 8th position of the sun, right? So it separate things for things to be independent. You know, so when you got the first of something, whether it's the first or it came from something else that was first, it's just the essence of what separation means, separate. So things could be put in its own separate position. So this could be independent, that could be independent. That's an energy. So when you know how to create not separation with y'all lost social norms, the essence of it and direct that towards your creative attributes, that's the Mars energy. You know what I'm saying? So this is why Scorpios and Aries ghost situations or separate. They separate their true character from the character that's being played or whatever the case may be. So external world, actions, but the internal world, separate. That's independent. See what I'm saying? Now y'all get it. It ain't got nothing to do with destruction. Now here's the thing. When we reach the essence, the highest heights to something, and then when it's the lack of better words, and it's the simultaneous, depending on what spiritual space is in, when the mind states and then it accumulates into reality, it has subsidiaries. Now, things like you have yin yang. So that's masculine, feminine, man, woman, you know what I'm saying? All that. So that's all that is up under external, internal. External, man, yang, you know what I'm saying? All the internal, yin, you know what I'm saying? Feminine, all that is up under it. So when you look at separation, if something was grounded on something, when the independents start to separate, things like destruction could come from that. Things like newness could come from that. Rebirth, transformation, and adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you holding on to something that breaks, shake, or separate, depending on how much you invested into it, mentally or physically in the spiritual world, this what an individual may consider what hurts. You know what I'm saying? Or painful. Or birth pains, or however the case may be. But you see how we got equilibrium and we more spiritual, and it's not filtered through me being an author and I have a intentive mind based upon I'm a warrior, but aggressiveness. So Mars is not being explained as passion and war. It's being explained from its essence, where some of these things could be a subsidiary up under, just like Interscope, and you got Death Row, and you got other stuff, and you got the other label version or whatever in the bad boy. So it's a subsidiary, right? So Mars doesn't have to be destructive. Mars doesn't have to be transformative, but it comes from the essence of separation, or what's separate, or the energy of separate. And depending on how that energy is directed, it just so happens more on a percentage scale. There's things like subsidiary that could come from that record label, like destruction. You know what I'm saying? But forms of independence be learned from there because you understand each form on its own independence. So if it's a building, you understand this brick on its own, that brick on its own, or everything together, and what that means on its own. But it's just separate. You see what I'm saying? That's what it means. So when it play out through actual people, the thing that's being separate is the internal and the external, or a person's thought form and emotional state from what they are expressing, so they can adjust it with that, or however the case may be. But these things have to be kept separate if you're a Mars sign. So trying to connect too much with a Mars sign will get you blindsided. So when you try to connect too much with a Scorpio, you may get manipulated or blindsided. You try to connect too much with an Aries, you might get cursed out and think this person just want to be alone or whatever the case may be or whatever. But it's because you probably impeded on something that's separate from what you trying to connect to that may not always be known externally. You know what I'm saying? And depending on which routes it go, Scorpios may do it for other reasons. Aries may do it for other reasons, however the case may be. But Mars itself. So as we experiencing just the sun being in that energy or whatever like that, however, that's what brings something first. So it's separate from another first, or however the case may be. So everybody has their chance to be first, but you could be in an accumulation of what's first. And that accumulation may play out as a distraction if you don't do it the right way, because you may forget what's first, the intent. And if you're paying attention to more of the intent, that's the first energy. And that's not always physical. You know what I'm saying? That's the internal world. That's what's first. That's what's always supposed to be separate from what you actually doing. The intent. And the intent can only be two routes, negative or positive, germane to the mechanism. And the mechanism is fixed. And it has to be relatable and sync. So whatever that you're doing is just the accumulation, whether you're trying to be practical, communicate, care, express, analyze, relate, go in depth, or had a passion, or try to expand, expound, or escape, or try to construct, or try to keep in order, or try to associate, or try to organize in some type of way, or try to dream about or imagine or have a fantasy or whatever the case may be. That's, you got to have Aries, the intent. That's why people don't know how to explain Aries or whatever like that. And then you put in Scorpio, but for the most part, you have Taurus, practicality, Gemini, communicate, but then you're supposed to have Aries, intent. Not I am, intent, or whatever the case may be. So for the most part, when you're in the accumulation, you know how to construct your intent first. If you're the Taurus, yeah, you're naturally someone who's stable and practical. But what's your intent? And once you get that right, that's how you learn from Aries, or the Aries energy. I'm not just talking about Aries, all people. I'm just talking about the energy as just the thing in the sky for us to understand. So therefore, your original intent, you know what to be practical for, and not be practical for things that manifest as people taking advantage of you and leaning on you as a crutch. Geminis, you're communicative, but what's your intent? What's the intentions of you communicating about? So you don't lead into situations of being seen as two-faced or a person who just gossiping for information or whatever the case may be. Cancers, what is you caring for? What's the intent? Because a lot of y'all intentions, y'all care for the wrong things, and then you have lack of care from your family or things of that nature, and then that'd be the things that you really need. So a lower octave Cancer is a person that may not necessarily be able to make family circumstances, even out of friends and things of that nature. And this is where they got a heart where they may have a deep remorse and not care about anybody else in a way that no one can ever imagine. And it's hard for Cancers to get out of that energy. They need loving people around them to keep them in a different kind of space. So the intent, if the Cancer go too far with their intentions, caring for the wrong things, the things that they actually should have cared about fade away, and then they be separate in the world because they're cardinal signs. So you have to be careful, Cancers. Virgos, right? I mean, Leos or whatever, which you are expressing or paying attention to, or how you receive attention. What is the intent? So you don't be led into situations of getting all the attention for all the wrong reasons and things of that nature, and think that you can do something with it after it already happens. Because a lot of times they don't work that way all the time. Sometimes a Leo think, okay, once I receive whatever attention, no matter if it's good or bad, this gives a chance to transmute it or whatever. And a lot of times you may do something or put your foot in your mouth that you can't take back, or whatever the case may be, and have enemies forever. Leos know how to make enemies forever. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to chill out on that. Virgos, or whatever. You're analytical. You're practical. You like to worry, but the intent. What do you be worried about? And a lot of times y'all be having the wrong friends. They be making you distracted with the wrong things, and now your whole life go towards worrying about stuff that just make your life harder. Stuff make you think that you was helping and it was all for nothing or whatever. And that's the most damage. You're gonna be off 1,000 packs of new Marlboro cigarettes the next week or something like that, being in those lower octave Virgo situations. You know what I'm saying? Libras, right? Relationships, how you relate to others or whatever the case may be, or where you be trying to find fairness and balance. You need to learn from your opposite sign. What's the intent though? A lot of times you got friends that direct you or family that direct you to care for things that you know that you're supposed to initiate to create the fairness. And if you don't do it, it's all going to like hell break loose or whatever the case may be. But you be forgetting other people's intentions. Other people be knowing that if they show certain actions and stuff like that, you going to be the one to save it. You going to be the one to do it. You going to be the one there. And a lot of times the very things that you be trying to create fairness and balance for is the very people, places, and things that create the unfairness and balance in your life, because your intentions be off, because you don't read other people's intentions or whatever the case may be. So you always got to understand your own intentions before anybody else's, because this would get you thrown off, because you already like to keep things balanced. But somebody come around being all favorable, all goofy like you and stuff like that, and therefore now you don't even understand the true intentions of stuff. Now you thrown off, and now the situation gonna play out as you needing some personal space or someone else needing some personal space. And now you got to learn that independence, because the intentions was off. Your intentions was trying to be relatable. Other people's intentions was just using you, using your networks, using your circumstances, using your communicative skills. So you got to understand that. Scorpios, you already know that. You just got to know what your true intentions, what ones is petty, that should be brought to the surface to make the situation play out smoothly, that it don't become weird or you develop some weird letdown because you didn't got overly excited, but you still creating a scenario from this one feeling over here that you only motivated to do when it's played out right from you showing this other expression that you only wanted people to see. And then a lot of times when people don't show this energy that you thought they were supposed to react to, that you made up in this energy other people don't see, you start playing out another route, and then you never end up manifesting that energy or other situations. And before you know it, you stung yourself trying to control the situation from behind the scenes and played yourself. The actions you was actually doing was the main reason people started to not do it. People started to slide away. So you got to learn how to just become evolved in your Mars and your intent. Sagittarius, you like to expand, expound, or escape out of things that you don't need to be in because how you see and feel about it, and you willing to take charge and go to war or anything that try to keep you trapped into something or think you connected in that type of form to make you feel like you inside of a bubble or however the case. But what's your intent though? So there's a lot of times why y'all go crazy, because y'all intentions be for attention, or y'all attention be why other people see and feel things, and you start being like that Libra or that Aquarius, looking at everybody else as retarded and things of that nature. But when you see it and feel it, you start to express it, and then you make people feel like it's extreme or whatever the case may be, due to the fact of your stance on something. And then you change up the next day, your stance, you start to look back and be like, yeah, my stance was kind of harsh, but you don't know you was just in a Sagittarius energy. You got trapped in a bubble, and that bubble was, you had to fight your way out of it. Then that was your way of fighting up out of it, because what was more important is no one trapping you in a bubble, and what's more important is no one to trap you into a bubble tomorrow, regardless of what you did to get out of that bubble previously. They should get over it. It just so happens you being a Sagittarius, sometimes family don't get over it how you did it. Sometimes friends don't get over it how you did it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes co-workers, sometimes you get fired after a while. You can't go back to that job how you did. Some of y'all locked up right now, and you ain't getting out until your day in court. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times y'all got to be careful with these cages y'all think y'all be in. The fight to escape could make you get into an actual cage in real life. You know what I'm saying? The things manifest and stuff like that. So what be your intentions? What's your intentions to try to be wise on the situation, to try to broaden the situation, to try to show everybody else how they should see and feel about it? What's the intentions? Remember, everything ain't worth it. Some people ain't in seeing and feeling. Some people thinking and practicalizing. Some people thinking and just can't wait to communicate, no matter if it makes sense or not. Other people are fixated or cardinal more, and they're seeing or feeling. So one person may be more stubborn. One person may be trying to create a new way of seeing. So they ain't even thinking about adjusting or changing or separating from something that's already there. So they may be retarded itself. That'd be me being an Aries, if you looking at it, being a Sag. But for the most part, what's your intent? sometimes the intentions be off, and then you get yourself in sticky situations. And now that relationship with you and your drunk auntie or grandma never be the same because you seen and felt a certain way about Jesus Christ and she didn't. Now you made that more of your anger or what you want to discuss when everybody just trying to eat around the Thanksgiving table. Fuck Thanksgiving. Well, everybody trying to eat around the family reunion. You know what I'm saying? So check your intentions. Everything ain't meant to be intended to do and to express. And that ain't everybody else's intentions also. And you will start to lighten up your load being a Sagittarius. Trust me, a lot of stuff would be like, dang, it's that easy to not be frustrated with this retarded person. Because I know a Sagittarius just look at everybody retarded. Just like goddamn Aquariuses do. And then for the most part, Capricorns, what's your true intent? Because you're a cardinal sign too. Supposed to be initiating and creating new ways of how to think and be practical. So you are serious, or a lot of times even when you ain't serious, because it ain't got nothing to do with your status or what you're known for or whatever. Soon as somebody try to butt heads with that, you willing to go to war. Somebody try to butt heads with your status and what you known for. Wait a minute, you trying to look down on me? You trying to power up? Y'all don't do that around. Don't do that to no Capricorn. You hurt their pride. They take that personal. You know what I'm saying? Do not try to belittle, or even if they predicated themselves on a status or a title. You know what I'm saying? Even if they got a title or a badge. If it's a Capricorn, you chill out on talking about it. They worked hard. You know what I'm saying? It means something because they put the emotion in it. The earth signs, they ain't emotional like water signs. So the emotion got to go towards some practical thing or whatever the case may be. You know, so especially a Capricorn. So if it's something that they own, something that they have done, it's personal. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's business, they did it for personal reasons. It made them look good. So any business that failed, you better not start talking about it or whatever the case may be or whatever. Because they're going to take that personal. They're going to be like, is this person trying to belittle me or whatever? And you might, especially, you might be a Gemini, the in conjunction sign. You might be trying to give them advice. Yeah, I know that business crashed last time, but if you do this and do that or whatever like that, a Capricorn ain't going to take it as good advice and information the way the Virgo might think or the Gemini might take it. The Capricorn will take it as, wait a minute, is this person trying to power up? Then they gonna get stubborn, more stubborn than the Taurus or whatever, and try to prove you wrong, even if they even wrong. Even they gonna still do what you trying to tell them to do a better idea. If they gonna do it even harder or whatever like that, just for you to shut up. Know what I'm saying? That's how cat can. Don't be trying to tell what they title on how they got it. That's it. But what's the true intent? And that's what Capricorns need to understand, because a lot of times a Capricorn will fight for the wrong status, fight for the wrong title. Then they got to sit back and realize, yeah, I ain't fighting for that no more. Yeah, I don't want to be the face of that no more. Yeah, I ain't the boss of that no more. Or I can sit back and chill and let this person do that. I don't got to keep things in order or whatever. Sometimes the Capricorn intention be misguided a lot of times. It'll be more predicated on pride, more predicated on being seen a certain way and not being looked down upon, when you can relax and understand that everybody is different. And especially if you're coming across Aries. Aries don't like to look down on people. We like everybody to have their own independent space. So keep your mind separated from Zodiac and understand everybody you run into. Just because they're coming at you like that may not necessarily mean that they seeing things like that. Some people might just be trying to give good information or whatever the case may be. Is it a Capricorn? Oh, hit you, boom, oh, deer hit you real good with the goddamn that deer. Or whatever that thing is. Real up, no, so you don't get hit with them horns and something like that. You'll never make it back and get hit with them horns. I'm saying once a Capricorn start talking in a sharp way, because they know how to keep the emotion aside too, but the emotion that they just have to go through is something practical. So if you put their spiritual back against the wall and make them have to argue with you, because they could be wasting time making money. They could be wasting time still failing on something you tried to get them good advice on, and they took it personal, like you trying to look down on them. They could be wasted because they cardinal signs. You know what I'm saying? They could be wasting time doing more of that or whatever the case may be. You put their spiritual back against the wall, and they got to argue with them, whatever the case may be. They gonna say some stuff you never knew they was thinking that. It was some stuff you always thought that they wasn't paying attention to or whatever. They just ain't care to say it. You know what I'm saying? They was busy doing something else. You forced them to argue with you. You're just sharp. They don't hit you with that horn. That's it. Your life ain't gonna never be the same. They're gonna belittle your status so small. You could be their family member and the breadwinner. You could be the friend and help them out more and stuff like that, whatever. Not after what they say to you or whatever like that. You gonna feel this small. You gonna feel like you worked for them your whole time you knew them. You gonna feel like you actually, it's like they know how to do it. It's still gonna be the boss, even if they ain't. They know how to word it and take actions just right. You and everybody around gonna be like, damn, you did all that for them, though. You really was working for them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Capricorns know how to do that. They know how to save face sometimes because they ain't show that emotion a lot of times to make you feel down. A lot of times if Capricorns do that too much, they hold resentment towards that family member or friend because they let a person in places they ain't supposed to. And if you use that against them, they take it personal and put it right back in their box that you're trying to look down on them. And they don't care how much you got or whatever the case may be. They're going to resent you as the family member for the rest of their life because they trusted you with that emotion that they know should have went towards making money that day and not talking to you about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling Capricorn. Shout out to all my Capricorns, bro. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, what's your intent? You got to know your intent now. When it comes into that practicality and what you try to organize or whatever, or your status. Sometimes every status ain't worth having. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to let a person have it, but because you won't never be attached to it for them to ever put you in that situation of lowering your status. You know what I'm saying? You would have never gave them nothing, gave them anything, a glimpse of anything. And y'all Capricorns know what I mean. That glimpse of something could be like a mind frame, something you may have told a person that what's going on with you, with your family or something, a circumstance. Those be those little things that other signs take different, that the Capricorn take personal. You start bringing that shit up. You know what I'm saying? They trusted you with something to even start talking to you about these type of things or bring you around that type of. So you're supposed to be that person that hold it down. Even if y'all ain't cool, Capricorns don't play that. You know, so they like loyalty. They like loyalty in areas that ain't always got something to do with physical. It's like a moral thing. Like even if you know something about them and y'all ain't cool no more, you still supposed to hold it down. See, that's like an esoteric thing, like a respect where in the physical world you ain't gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if y'all in different situations. Let's say if you was in a relationship, y'all got different partners now or whatever. You was in a relationship with a Capricorn or whatever. But Capricorns take that serious. That's that serious term. It ain't always about taking every situation in real life serious. It's about the internal world and that thing that they take serious or whatever. They might even be a goofy Capricorn. Internally, they take that serious. They're like, man, I don't care if we cool or not, man. Don't be around. I don't care, bitch, if you're in another relationship. That nigga, I don't need to know everything that we did or whatever the case may be. And if I'm around people that know him and I start hearing things that I know only you know, you know what I'm saying? See, Geminis don't take certain stuff like that personal. Matter of fact, a Gemini might start talking more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know everything. They broke up, still together, broke up again. And they create situations to get back with people too and still be in cheating situations with a person that they was with that moved on, that somehow secretly ain't move on because they was with a Gemini. They didn't got married and shit and things of that nature. Their ex was a Gemini. The ex still fucking. Gemini still fucking. You know what I'm saying? So if you married to somebody who was with a Gemini still fucking. I'm just keeping 100 with you. They create them situations. You know what I'm saying? Capricorn take it personal. That person become disgusting in their mind. They're like, this person talking about stuff we did when you know what I'm saying? Capricorns don't be all that. You know what I'm saying? I got a Mars in Capricorn. I got a Mars. But for the most part, like I said, pick your intent. Every status ain't worth having because it's like an uphold, and when you can't uphold it, you feel those energies when people start not seeing you in that light that was presented and it may have was going good previously or whatever. You start to see that before those actions start to play out. You know when a person's about to start acting funny. You know when a person's about to start cheating. You know when a person ain't seeing you in that way no more, and you got to put more work in that energy that you don't even care about really no more. So you like, damn, I should have picked better relationships, and you always get in that funky situation where to get out of these relationships is more catastrophic than how you got into it in the first place. So Capricorns, just check yourself. And Aquariuses, y'all got to pick out y'all intent because y'all like to get into that energy of being fixated in your way of thinking. So once you build like some safe zone around your associations and who you like to communicate with and stuff like that, it's hard for you to get out of that. And a lot of times you miss opportunities and you be stuck with situations that play out way later on down the line. Someone taking advantage of you, someone that you met as a friend replaced a family member you disliked, start being around this person, made them more of a family member, then created a weird energy when things was going good, bring this person around and made people that you close to feel like try to make them think like they mind readers, like, yeah, this person be doing what y'all don't do. That's why this person really my family now. And then a lot of times you get so distracted and get comfortable, and you'll do that in multiple situations. It'll be a Judah out of that bunch that now your family and them other close ones could be like, I told you so. But now you got to ghost the whole situation because you then brought somebody else around to try to make other people jealous. Then this person did something to you that one of them people who made you mad just for that little small moment that was a family or friend told you something about, but you wanted to prove them wrong. Then this person did you dirty that everybody know. Now you got to separate from the situation because now you don't want to hear that I told you so. And now you know you done fucked up by making that energy of, oh, I made this person closer than I was supposed to make them because they fulfilled that pocket that this close person who was with me first didn't fulfill at the moment. Then y'all do that with y'all family and y'all friend, and y'all get all associated out, and this is how y'all be getting rocked to sleep and don't realize you be getting taken advantage of too much later. So y'all Aquariuses, what's the intent? Sometimes all intentions, you don't be modifying it right. That's what you can learn from your sextile sign Aries. Just the Aries energy self. I'm an Aries, but I'm just talking about these energies itself. The intentions, right? A lot of times you go get these outsiders and make them insiders for the wrong intentions. And a lot of times it be for those bases. And now you get proved wrong or get taken advantage of or having to take more responsibilities for people that you shouldn't even be caring about like that. But just because they fulfilled a pocket that people who cared for that pocket first ain't doing it, then you over exaggerate who doing it for the moment, and then you go overboard, try to show the people who ain't doing it who doing it at the moment. Then it backfires sometimes when you get fixated because you're a fixed sign. You get too comfortable with it. Then once you get comfortable with that network and association, person do the same thing, show certain signs, what made you frustrated with the previous close person, whether they was a family or friend or whatever. Then you get caught in that, I need to ghost the world. I need to go talk about it. Where's a microphone? Then you go running your mouth, just like the other air signs, Libras and Geminis. The Libras and Geminis, you go running your mouth just like them. Here you go, running, trying to express all the thoughts you wish you could have told people in the moment that you ghost them that much. You know what I'm saying? Here you go, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Close your mother mouth. God damn it, Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. I love y'all. Shout out Aquarius. But yeah, pick your intentions right. Sometimes when you go out and about, you have the wrong intentions. And sometimes you need to hold it down. And you'll start to realize when you hold it down, the people you already care about, it's going to be playing out like any other old person you get that you will slip up and try to prove that they doing what the other person ain't doing. And that's how you stay connected more and don't have that distaste with your close ones and stuff like that that you always got to overcompensate for once you get out of your little funk and your ghosting, I want to run away from my problem situation energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's how y'all get better. Choose y'all intentions right. Being a goddamn Aquarius or whatever the case may be. Because you will start to realize life ain't about frustrations and people being retarded. It's about who you rather be frustrated with and deal with retardedness with and things of that nature. And Aquariuses, y'all need to learn it ain't nobody better but then the people you already was close with. The people that already was around and stuff. You already fixed. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you made your mistakes at. Trying to find that energy outward that ultimately play the same situation where you could have just dealt with that with your close people in the first place and everything will be way more better than dealing with it with someone else you got to add extra battles with to make sure things are smoothly. And you Aquariuses get wore out when y'all be in all these relationships like that after a while. Your mind be all over the place and you start losing your car keys and shit. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all start losing y'all socks and drawers and panties and boxes. So yeah, Aquariuses, learn your intent. And last but not least, Pisces. Or whatever the case may be, right? Y'all in a situation where it's mutable water. So y'all getting all y'all creative spaces, that chameleon energy, and y'all know how to absorb yourselves in the situation. But what's the intent at times? Sometimes it ain't true intentions to express yourself thinking everybody going to relate to that creative idea or create to your way and your perception. And then that leads you into being a person that needs to persuade others. And that persuasion come into lies and stuff because your intent be wrong. Your intent is to be relatable. Your intent is to allow someone to see this dream or see this imagination the way you see it or whatever the case may be. And sometimes you get so lost into that, a person might put on a fake smile like they all ears in and stuff like that, not knowing in the back of their pineal gland, get ready to rock you to sleep with that contract, getting ready to rock you to sleep with all your energy and rock you to sleep and steal and copy all your ideas and stuff like that. You thought you had an open ear and a support system and someone who get ready to give you the world. So get ready to take everything you expressed because your intentions was wrong. And then you got absorbed thinking that somebody else's intentions is vibing with how you expressing it. Yeah, because it's like this, and we could do that, and we could do this. Somebody's in there like that Jay-Z, like that Jay-Z emoji when he was listening to somebody's song. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, don't talk too much. When a person start doing that, Pisces, you get into your Scorpio energy. Start learning from Scorpios a little bit. Start being quiet. I say get quiet a little bit because you start getting absorbed and in your mind. It's mutable water. You like, I got him. Yeah, because it could be like this and that. A person be that Jay-Z head bobbing like the song might be vibing a little bit, but they listening to you and stuff like. That's a person taking all your ideas. Once they go about 5 minutes deep and stuff like that, in your mind, you think, finally, somebody get it. Yeah, I said, finally, I got to listen to the ear. No, finally, you get ready to be on VH1 a couple of years later because something wrong with your contract. You know what I'm saying? You get ready to be on Love and Hip Hop or something like shows just fashion for Pisces. You know what I'm saying? A crash out artist song. I don't know that. But yeah, y'all gotta be careful and stuff out here. What's your intent? Find the intent, the original intent. People could be around to steal. People could be around to mimic. People could be around to sabotage. And here you go, get ready to express something in an area that you built up just for those type of scenarios. Let me hold on to this in the esoteric drawing board because I want to make sure just this right. Then you add from that opposite Virgo energy, just not for practical things, for this dream and creativity. Yeah, I don't want to express this until I'm around the right situation and just right and stuff like that. So it ain't no way that a person can have a doubt the way I got this feeling that it could be doubt. Let me take care of that feeling. Oh, this why I feel like it could be doubted because this could be a little better. This color could be on there. Oh, this idea, this allegory could be on there. Then once you built yourself up and finally do it and you get ready to express it, someone get ready to be like, oh, that's retarded. You need a straight jacket. Just like that. Like they ain't care about it. Just like that. That stuff you was building up for a whole week. Now you got secret animosity. You revengeful. You grudgeful and stuff like that. And I'm saying you get right secretly trying to find the people this person know and people y'all know in the neighborhood and stuff that really start talking down on their name and stuff that ain't even got nothing to do with your feelings just being hurt. Because you ain't understand the intent. You know what I'm saying? Understand the intent. Sometimes you're around family, friends, and associates who just don't want to hear that shit at the moment. Especially when you're drunk. Pisces, y'all got a habit of goddamn talking out loud. But I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Flight boss, beep, you know. But show. You're now listening to the Mind of Military Smooth. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel. And I'm going to care of God duties and responsibilities. Rock the Swahili. Hold that yellow hoop. Massasoit. Mama Natoy. Woo! That was a war crime. Michael Jackson, somebody told him to do that. His colonist handler. No, I said I don't know for that. Masasaki. Shout out to all the handlers.